on. And I don't think that any board member should speak unilaterally for the board at all.
Just before anybody else comments, I want to make sure that we don't get into deliberating on whether we're going to continue the policy or not, because it will be on a future agenda and is not agendized here.
Okay, it'll be on a future agenda.
Okay, thank you. How about the fire chief's report?
He is not here tonight. If you have any questions, we're happy to relay them to him. Otherwise, his report is in the packet.
Did we have someone that was staying or living in the temporary housing unit for several weeks?
I don't know about that. I know that people have been in it. I don't know what their status was or is.
Okay.
Staying?
Yeah, they're living in the car there every day for about 3 weeks.
I know that they have regular staffing, but I don't know the disposition of that staff.
Okay. All right. Is there any?
I would like to, I guess it could be a question to Chief Scott. Has anybody looked at the temporary housing down there? When there's weeds that high, why don't they do like I drive by Bradley, that's a little town, Kempston, all the other fire stations, they're all cleaned up around. I mean, that looks like H-E-double-L down there. I mean, and there's no reason why the shape it is now should represent the city of San Miguel. It needs to be cleaned up, So anyway, if you get that message to him.
Yep, we'll pass that along.
All right.
And might as well.
Pardon me?
And my question as well would be great.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Is there any other board comments or questions on any of the reports? Any public comment on the non-district or staff and committee reports?
Hello, welcome back.
Hello.
Sandy Nickett. When you bring back the agenda item that was just tabled again for the billionth time, I would like it to be noted that it needs to be brought up that you have one board member acting on behalf of the whole entire board, so that that can be discussed and policy be written or read so that everybody's on the same page, because that just got brushed over like nobody's business. That shouldn't be happening, can't be happening. It upset board members and it just flipped right off the table. So it needs to be put up on the agenda, and I would really hope that you do that.
Thank you. Okay, on to the consent calendar. We have 3 items. If any of the board members wish to pull any of the 3 items for discussion?
No.
I'd like to pull item number 3 for discussion.
Okay, any other items?
I need a motion.
We need
For 1 and 2.
public comment.
Oh, that's
Public comment?
We have public comment on the consent calendar items. Do not. I would make a motion that we approve items 1 and 2 on the consent calendar.
Want a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Director Smiley?
Yes.
Director Davis?
Yes.
Director Beatty?
Yes.
Director Sangster?
Yes.
Passes 4-0 with 1 vacancy.
Okay, so item 3. Item 3 is authorizing release of a request for proposal for construction management services for the Child Wastewater Treatment Facility upgrade and expansion.
So this item is, as stated, a request for proposal for construction management services for the construction of the wastewater treatment plant facility upgrade and expansion from 200,000 to 325,000 gallons per day. The proposal, or the proposed scope of services is included. It's 20 pages long, so I doubt you want me to read that whole thing, but essentially what we are looking for is a firm or person who is able to conduct construction management services on behalf of the district to manage the construction activities at the wastewater treatment plant, so that we, number one, do not have our district engineer doing it at a similar or higher cost, and I am not able to do that and my regular job at the same time. This is going to end up being somebody there pretty much full-time managing the contractors, managing material submittals, managing actual construction activities, doing preliminary inspections, and making sure that all documentation is in line with our grant reporting.
So effectively, would be a role of a project manager?
Essentially, yes.
Okay, and this is not something that would be, would accompany the general contractor's responsibilities?
So this is basically the contractor or contractors that are hired would have their own project manager specific to them. This is a person who is taking photos on our behalf, is doing inspections and making sure project schedules are aligned on our behalf.
It's quality control.
Essentially quality control for the district, and making progress reports as our eyes and ears out in the field doing this work, preparing the reports to go to the state for grant funding reimbursements, which all of those things generally fall under myself at this point in time, unless we specifically hire the district engineer as the district engineer to do it. Though WSC may elect to provide a proposal to do this aside from the district engineer work, I am not interested in having them do this as the district engineer. And again, I don't have time to do this and everything else.
Okay. If we were to accept a proposal from the current district engineer and hire them for this, the optics are not very good. Just saying from a public purchase perspective, it does not look good that you've hired somebody who are already paying a significant amount of money to do this work here and make this significant amount of money. So the optics are not good. It's just, my first point would be. Second, is this funded through the grant?
This is included as a line item in the grant and will be funded through the grant.
Okay. And what is the anticipated cost through the duration of the project?
What was proposed in the grant is roughly $450,000. I think it's a little bit more than that, but that's what was proposed for the entirety of the grant period.
Over what time frame?
Roughly 2 years, potentially 3 years.
And is it an expectation they're going to be providing numerous staff members to fulfill this role?
The requirement is that they have dedicated staff members to it. It doesn't specify how many.
And we're indicating there are specific qualifications that people would have to have in order to do this role?
There's not specific qualifications, but they do have to be able to perform specific tasks, which lends to specific qualifications, but there's a lot of people that are not necessarily licensed for certain things that they can satisfactorily do.
So no licensing or certification requirements at all?
No, I mean, that would be considered as part of the review process, but it's not a requirement.
Okay, that's all I've got. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump.
No, that's fine, that's fine. I just got a question. Okay, are we basically getting all the equipment and stuff basically coming from one particular company?
So the majority of the equipment is coming from Closina for the treatment. We also have equipment and materials that are coming from what could be one company or it could be 20 companies. It depends on when we go out to bid, what types of bids we receive.
Right.
So, I mean, if it was managing one company, yeah, that's a lot easier than managing, 5 different
Yeah,
companies.
well, I just wondered, like a lot of these, huge, companies, when they sell huge pieces of equipment, they basically have their own engineer.
They do, that works for them.
Yeah, but I mean, would they, I guess, you're gonna send out some things, I would contact them and say, do you have your engineer on how to install all this equipment?
So that's part of what this position would, or this person or firm would do, is make sure that if you're gonna sell me a wheel for something, that it's being installed correctly.
Right,
And
right.
that person would be calling that company saying, what, this doesn't look right, or where's the installation
Right.
diagram or drawings or whatever, instead of me having to do that.
Right.
Or one of our operators trying to do that. The purpose of a construction manager or a project manager is to have that one-stop shop where you can say, okay, what are all these people doing?
Right.
They are aware of what all those people are doing. So that's, I don't know how else to really explain it, but
Well, I mean, like, are you gonna reach out and see what they have to offer as far as the installation on this, the engineering and so on, or?
you're talking about the equipment we're buying?
Yeah,
It comes with what you need to put it together. So when we bought the equipment, it's going to come with instructions on how it goes together. For the plant, it's going to be put together by Closina,
yeah,
but it has to be integrated into our underground. All the various lift stations and the lift stations, the changes to the treatment ponds, the decommissioning of the existing plant, all has to be managed.
yeah,
So it's not as simple as, I want somebody to put up a garage door, and you're not really sure how, so you call the manufacturer and say, how do I put up this garage door? It's that times a million trying to figure out, okay, well, how come this doesn't fit? Well, your drawings aren't right. Well, now you have to have an RFI to get the engineer of record for that equipment to say, yes, it was done right or not done right. And then we have to go back to our engineer of record for the treatment plant to say, where the screw up was, and then get a new drawing on how to fix it. And then it has to go out as a change order. You know all this.
Yep.
So it can either be a really simple task and be really easy to manage, or it can be a gigantic nightmare.
It's gonna be a nightmare.
And we have a lot of moving pieces. And again, this is just an RFP.
Yeah.
Once prices come back, if it's $1 million, then maybe we need to reassess our.
yeah, right, yeah.
Do you have agencies or companies or firms you plan on seeking before it's released as an RFP?
So there's, half a dozen engineering firms within the county that do this type of work on a regular basis. So we would be soliciting those as well as putting it out to the general public.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments?
I just saw something that said was not released to the general public.
And so all of our RFPs are put out to the public.
I know what I read it. I'm sorry, that's what I was gonna ask.
On some, it might be the other RFP, on some of the RFPs, we provide a link to specifications that you have to sign in and to look at. It's not just a link where everybody gets the specifications for how something is built at the plant. It has to be somebody that's actually planning on bidding on the project. So that might be what you're looking at for the other RFP?
So generally, we put it on our website. Any RFP or bid opportunity goes on our website. If we know of specific persons or firms that want to get that information, we have a contractors list as established by state regulation. So it gets sent out to all of them. It also gets put on state clearinghouses, and in most cases at the plant, well, it does, in all cases, goes to the plant rooms. Like the last RFP that was just approved a minute ago for construction of the switchgear, that one is posted at ASAP Reprographics, which is a printer, but they do host plan sets for contractors, so they can print them for them or whatever. Doesn't cost us anything, but it's a benefit to them. So in this particular case, there's no plan sets or anything, so it's not at ASAP Reprographics, but it will be at the local plan rooms and all the other locations that we're required to post it.
Anything else?
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the RFP.
Public comment first.
Okay.
Do we have any public comment on this item? We do not. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion about that. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the RFP for construction management services.
A second.
We have a motion by Director Smiley, second by Director B, to release RFP for construction management services for the Machado wastewater treatment facility. Vote, please.
Director Davis?
Yes.
Director Beatty?
Yes.
Director Smiley?
Yes.
Director Sangster?
Yes.
This is 4-0 with one vacant.
Okay, we're moving on to board action items. Item number 1, authorize the general manager to issue a letter of support to the County of San Luis Obispo for the multi-benefit irrigated land repurposing program, MILR.
So,
Where's Murray?
yeah. We received a letter from Dr. Reilly from the County Director of Groundwater Sustainability, the County of San Luis Obispo, requesting a letter of support to go to the Board of Supervisors for their proposed Miller program, multi-benefit irrigated land repurposing program. The letter that we received is attached. The proposed letter that we prepared to send to the county is also attached. Essentially, they are doing baby steps in the previous Miller program that they had, which is a fallowing program. Would allow persons with property of 2 acres or more to fallow at least 2 acres and not lose their water rights. Currently, the way the county ordinances are, if you stop irrigating for a period of 5 years, then somehow you lose your water rights under that ordinance. This would prevent that. So if you're part of this program, you can do 2 acres, 2 million acres, whatever you wanted to as fallowing, and you wouldn't lose any right to resume irrigation after a period of time. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I don't know if you have any questions. I had asked Director Reilly to be here, but I think he was stuck in another meeting.
Understood. Thank you for the explanation. Questions or comments, gentlemen?
I'm in favor of it. A lot of vineyards, orchards being fallowed right now. So if it lasts very long, you're in danger of losing their water rights. So I think it would be good to give them a reprieve when we come out of this situation that we're in.
Dr. Davis?
Yeah, I was just reading this. I think I understand exactly what's gonna happen, and it's fine, but the way I read it, you have to have had farmed that land before you can follow it.
Initially, it would be targeting those that are currently irrigating.
Yeah, right.
But there, as I'm sure the board, or maybe the board's not aware, but there's a lot of farmers in that are irrigating because they don't want to lose their water rights. They don't want to farm, but they don't want to lose their water rights. This would give them an opportunity to stop irrigating without fear of losing
Right.
their water rights.
Seems like a worthwhile endeavor to me.
Yes.
So do we have a consensus?
Or you still need public comment?
Do we have any public comment on this item?
Renette Gregory. So this is a huge problem in our area, is not being able to fallow your land without fear of losing it. And I know of some parcels that did just that many, many years ago and was lost, supposedly from the county. The question is there a fee with this Miller program? Is there a fee for participants to be in it? Do we know this?
I think the letter from the county indicates that there is no fee to participate.
There is, okay. It's an imperfect solution. It's unfortunate. As the state of California, as a resident of the state of California, you should have your right to turn on and off your water as you need to. But it is at least a better fix for, so I am in support of this. So, and I'm glad that there's no fee, so it's very good, thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Nope. All right. So, if someone would like to make a motion.
Or is this consensus? I'll second it if there's a motion.
Consensus is fine, everybody's, I think.
Yep.
Public
We all
comment.
support it.
We'll get that sent off.
Thank you. Moving on, item number 2, monthly claim detail and investment reports for January 2026. Recommend receive and file claim detail and investment report by board consensus.
And you have the reports in your board packet. I don't have anything to add, but I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have it.
I don't have any questions.
No.
Questions or comments?
No.
Do we have any public comment on the January financial report? We do not. I make a motion to receive and file.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to item number 3. Award a contract to M&S Engineers in an amount not to exceed $183,980 for the San Lawrence Terrace Booster Pump Station project, including associated budget adjustments by resolution.
Just 1 second. So this would review and approve resolution to authorize the general manager to execute the contract with M&S Engineers in an amount to exceed $183,980, including necessary budget adjustments. In December, at the regular board meeting, the board authorized the release of the RFP for the San Lawrence Terrace Booster Pump Station design. As just previously stated, it was posted on the district websites, state clearinghouse, the local plan rooms, and directly sent to all firms who had previously shown interest. 3 firms attended the pre-bid meeting, which was held on January 8th, 2026. We actually received 4 proposals as of January 30th, to the deadline. One from M&S Engineers, one from Walls Group Incorporated, Diversified Project Services International, and Schaff and Wheeler Consulting Engineers. They're all reviewed. All proposals were deemed responsive to the RFP. However, Walls Group Incorporated did not attend the mandatory pre-bid meeting. One of the proposals, M&S Engineers and Walls Group proposed similar approaches with Package pump systems, DPSI was a more traditional pump station, and Schaff and Wheeler focused more on the system hydraulics and alternatives, which was not really part of what we're asking for. There is a award recommendation letter by WSC attached, but the breakdown of cost is that M&S Engineers was $183,980, Wallace Group was $167,467, PPSI was $317,000, and Schaff and Wheeler was $274,196. The recommendation is to award to M&S Engineers at $183,980 as both responsive and meeting all requirements, including the pre-bid meeting. If the board wanted to, I could waive that requirement, but it would require additional findings and we would have to bring it. So attached, further. Where did it go? There it is. On page 147 is the recommendation letter by WSC, basically just stating what I just stated. So this would be funded through water capital funds. It would be, this would be for design only, then we would establish a estimated construction cost, and then that would be brought back once plans are done. This project is to design it and provide construction drawings for bidding.
Okay. You said it's from water capital funds?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this is just for the design, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, where that booster pump is going up there on Power Road, you're not gonna be able to use it until you get the tank up there. Is that correct?
No. So it will be fed just like the system is fed right now from the main tank on the west side. And that will go to that booster station. The booster station will be designed to take water from the west side of the river, west side of the river, as well as be configured to take water from the tanks that are proposed on that bluff.
Yes, but can it be used prior to putting those tanks in, is my
Yes.
question. So you can get water from the west side wells, but has it been designed on how it's gonna go underneath the road? And
So it hasn't been designed yet. That's part of what this contract would be for.
Oh.
But the design would encompass the ability to take water from the west side of the bridge.
Right.
I mean, there's existing lines there, but it'll take water from the west side of the bridge, increase the pressure and volume, and push it into the terrace. Eventually, when we build tanks there, then this station would be designed in such a way that you can take water from those tanks also. And the water from the west side of the bridge would just be feeding those tanks. So it would be configured so that we have multiple options. Obviously, the tanks are not going to be built for quite a while.
Yeah, that's what,
So it would have to work off of the existing tanks, or the existing tank on the west side of the bridge.
but is it gonna go up past the SLT well? 'Cause that,
So it's going to increase, this station would increase pressure to the entirety of the terrace.
yeah, right, but like I said, right by the SLT well, that water line already goes over to the terrace, correct?
The SLT well is almost on the farthest end of the system. So
Yeah,
it is on the terrace, you are correct.
right.
But this is proposed to go next to the bridge.
Yeah, I know that.
So it's going to increase pressure from the bridge all the way to where the terrace well is.
Yeah, right,
So the terrace well at that point would be back feeding the system.
yeah. So, okay,
Questions or comments?
You said?
But this amount here will also include the design for the infrastructure, right? The pipe.
It'll get us to a point where we have plans that we can, at some point, go out to construct it.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have any questions. Do you have any public comment on this item? We do not. All right.
We have a motion.
There's a motion.
Make a motion that we adopt.
A motion by Director Smiley that we adopt proposal by M&S Engineers in that not to exceed $183,980. We have a second.
One second.
We have a vote, please.
Can do. Director Smiley.
Yes.
Director Davis.
Yes.
Director Beatty.
Yes.
Director Sangster.
Yes.
4-0.
Moving to item number 4, approved proposal by SWCA for environmental services related to the Chata wastewater treatment facility and solar project in an amount not to exceed $142,797.90 by resolution, including necessary budget adjustments.
So this item is, again, to approve a proposal by SWCA, who is our current environmental consultant for the wastewater treatment plant, as well as some other smaller projects. For environmental services related to the Chata wastewater treatment facility. Essentially, what they would be doing is providing the monitoring for archaeological, let me get the list here so I don't misstate it. Cultural, archaeological, paleontological, biological monitoring for the entire project, for the wastewater treatment plant, the switchgear, initially the switchgear and the solar portion of it, and then as we move into the major construction, they would be covering that as well. They would be providing personnel to monitor daily activities as necessary. This also includes all the pre-surveys that have to be done. The reason this is being brought forward right now is because we're coming into spring and we need to have the pre-surveys done in March and April in advance of getting the switchgear put in advance of putting the solar in. So this is a maximum not to exceed amount of $142,787.90. However, most likely, given the heavily disturbed nature of the wastewater treatment plant, this amount would be reduced significantly because of the majority of the work being within the existing treatment plant, which is almost 100% disturbed. A lot of the work that they do is based on their best judgment. So if they feel that there's a need or there's a chance that they're going to come across something, then they're going to be there more often. As with what happened with our recent water line replacement, they came out, I think, maybe once a week